Thank you. So, Minister Champagne, there's been a lot of different companies that have come to light, including Precision Nanosystems,
Mhm.
Providence, Ethos. So, several companies have talked about their capacity and their ability to provide vaccines. And this was early on. Recently, we've seen that they've received funding. Why not earlier? Why not back into May? Like, what? Why is there such a lag to actually getting behind some of these entities?
Well, first of all, Mr. Let me just say that it's a, we're willing and very happy to work with everyone who has raised their hand. If you just look at Entos, which you mentioned, which is in Edmonton, indeed on May 1st, they concluded an IRAP agreement for $100,000. And on May 25th, they received about $4.2 million. In September, they received another five. So if you look at a company like that, a small company, they receive almost $10 million. And my message to you, but also to all of them and other companies, we talk about Providence, which also received 10 million. This is good. I want more of these companies across Canada to be helping us to find the next vaccine, and we will be with them at every step of the way. But for people to understand at home what we've been doing, some of them, as you know, Mr. Cumming, are in clinical trials. So we provide them funding to accelerate the clinical trials, and we will be with them with the SIF fund
I,
when it comes to biomanufacturing if
I,
they get there.
I
Because
under,
as Mr. Kennedy said, based on the question before, we have a very wide portfolio, and I could go through the
understood.
various investments we made to make sure we would be well positioned. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Understood. Those are relatively in a $400 billion package that's been dealing with this. Those are relatively small dollars in the overall scope of things. But I was taken by Mr. Kennedy, and maybe Mr. Champagne, you can speak to this. So the UK recognized in 2017 that they had to get on with providing some of this domestic manufacturing. The government's been in place for 5 years now. What on earth was your predecessor doing? There doesn't seem to be. Now we're reacting, but even in a small scale, we haven't proceeded with any kind of domestic manufacturing. I know you're new to it, and I appreciate the work that you're doing today, but where have we been?